Hello, this is a contribution from Kuzu Console to the Algorand ecosystem. In this presentation, we will learn how to develop a decentralized mobile application using the Xamarin framework to communicate with the Algorand blockchain to create account addresses and mnemonic keys, fund the account, check the account balance, and also restore accounts. Right here, we have the Visual Studio 2019 open. We're going to go ahead and create a new project. Okay, so we can see our template options right here, and then we're going to create a Xamarin Forms application. So let's head over to the search bar and search for Xamarin Forms. Okay, so we can see Android app Xamarin, iOS app Xamarin. What we want specifically is Xamarin Forms. So let's scroll down and search for Xamarin Forms. Okay, so we can see the mobile app Xamarin Forms, a multi-project template for building apps for iOS and Android with Xamarin and Xamarin Forms. So this is a template we need. Click on it and click next. Right here we're going to name our project, and I'm going to name this Mobile Xamarin, or rather Mobile Algorand to be more specific. After naming the project, click on create. So right here we can see our application has created successfully. We can see the Mobile Algorand project file, which is the project library. We can see the Android target version. We can also see the iOS target version. So to start our development, before we do anything else, let's first connect our application to the Algorand Network. So to do this, let's right click on the project's file, which is the class library over here for Mobile Algorand. Head over to manage NuGet packages. So what we're going to do here, we're going to connect our application with the Algorand network. So let's go to browse and search for Algorand to install the Algorand SDK. Okay, go ahead and click on it and also install. This is the latest stable version 0.2.0. Click on OK and accept. So our package, our SDK, has successfully installed into our application. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for Android and the iOS. It has successfully installed. Do the same thing for the iOS. Install. Okay, so we have successfully installed the packages in all the target versions we have, which is the Android and iOS version. So let's go ahead and close the NuGet package manager and head back into our solution explorer. Inside of our class library, we're going to create a class. So to create our class, let's head over to the models. Right click on the model, click on add a class. So let's go ahead and name this accounts class and create. Okay, so we can see our class has successfully created. Let's go ahead and make this class public because we would want to use it somewhere else. So inside of the account class, let's go ahead and add the following fields. is a field for the address and a field for the key. So while we are going to create our account address, we are going to use these fields for address to generate our address and then display the address back into our view. Likewise for key. So let's head over and create a view. Click on the folder, right click on the folder and add a new item. Let's add a content page and call this account page. Okay, so we can see our account page has been set up already with some additional code snippets for us, but we don't need them anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and remove them. Okay, so inside of our account page class, I just added private fields. These are entry fields, like texts or fields where text will be displayed or inputted by a user. So in this case, inside of our accounts page constructor, we have a this.title displaying the title of what the page is all about, and then we have a stack layout. Okay, so let's quickly brief and then see what a stack layout means. A layout that positions child elements in a single line which can be oriented vertically or horizontally. Okay, so we can imagine a stack of items inside a group, or a group of items inside a stack, okay, grouped together. We can decide to create as many stack layouts as we want. And then right here we have a button, an instance of a button. This is also an instance of the stack layout, which enables us to use this stack layout over here. There's a new object of the stack layout, which means this stack layout has access to everything that the stack layout contains. Likewise for the button also. Okay, so for the button right here, we have a button.text. Remember I said once we instantiate, the new objects will have access to everything inside of what we're instantiating. Okay, so we can have access to the text and clicks, all the event handlers, and so on. So for button, we have button.text. This is the text that the button is going to display, generate account address. And then once we click on the button, okay, this is the event handler. The button functionality is down below. So when we're done with the button, we are going to put it in a stack layout. Okay, we have the stack layout children.add. We're adding the button to the stack layout. We have the address also, which is an entry. Okay, an entry field where text will be displayed or typed. We have the address placeholder, and then we have the keyboard, which is default by nature. We also have a stack layout children.add. We're adding the address into the stack layout. We also have the same thing for balance. Is an entry field where the account balance will be displayed. We have the balance here. We have the keyboard, default keyboard. We have this. We have it as a stack layout. The children.add. The same for balance. The same thing we did for key over here. And then right here we have a button. Okay, that we can use to check the account address balance. So either ways you can display the button. You can display the account address by clicking on a button for a pop-up to show what our account address balance would be, or it will be displayed right here in the entry field. So inside of the button, this button 2 event handler. Let's go ahead and search for it. So this is the first button, and then the second button right here. Okay, so right here in the functionality of the button clicked, which is responsible for generating account addresses, this is the event handler. This handles what would happen whenever the button is clicked. So we can see string here for Algorand API address on testnet. We can also see the Algorand API token on testnet. This is the API address running on PureStick version 2, and then this is the API token. Okay, we also made an instance of our Algorand API, passing in the Algorand API address and the token. inside of the Algorand API. We have a variable C right here where the variable C is an entry text. Okay, and then we have an address here that was generated earlier on. We have an account info, okay, making use of the Algorand API instance to get the account information of the particular account you want to get. And then we have the amount.text using the account info to display the amount of that particular account, and then we have a display alert which will display the amounts that that particular address contains. So let's go ahead and remove all these errors and configure some things. So right where the Algorand API is, let's head over to show potential fixes and include the namespaces required. So we're going to use the Algorand v2 as using Algorand v2 namespace. Let's go ahead and include that. Alright, so this entry.text, this is where our address is going to be. So this is going to be address.text, and then this is where the balance would be from the entry fields we created earlier on. And then this has the await keyword, so we have to make the button asynchronous. Okay, so we're done with this first button. And then for the second button, what does the second button do? Okay, so from what we see here is that this second button, when we click on it, this is going to show the account information, additional account information such as the address, the account address. Okay, so right where the button is, I just made some changes to it. This is where the address should be, and this is where the text should be. So the first we're going to do in the application is to create our account address and the mnemonic key attached to that account. So this is the button that handles that functionality. Okay, so right here we're making an instance of the account, of an account. Okay, and then inside of our account class, which we created earlier on, which contains the address and the key. Okay, so we're going to use those fields we have inside the class to display text back into our UI, and then when generating the account address, we want the address field to display an account address for us that will be generated when we click the button. We also have a key field that will display what the key would be when we generate the accounts. So let's go ahead and make some corrections to what we want. The address displays the address, and the key should display a key for us. So what we have here from the account that we are making an instance of, let's go ahead and change this to display our mnemonic key for us. So we have the to mnemonic, and then let's go ahead and remove the to string. Okay, so we have this like this. We have our address is going to be generated and displayed, and then our key is also going to be generated and displayed for us. So a brief recap. Okay, this button right here for generating account addresses will generate the account address for us, which is going to be the first thing we will do. Then after creating or generating that account address, okay, we're then going to check the account details or the account balance, which is what this button functionality handles or does. Okay, so having done this, let's go ahead and test run our application to see how it works. Alright, so before we actually run our application, let's go ahead and make some corrections. If we double click on this and then go below, we can see that this is the button that actually checks the account balance, and then this is the button that creates the account address. So let's go ahead and switch them. This is for generating account address, and then let's cut this and paste this right here. So we have it correctly now. This is for checking the account balance, and this is for generating account address and a mnemonic key attached to it. So having done this, we can go ahead and use the emulator if you're following along, or you can connect your device and then test it. Okay, so when our application launches on our mobile app, we want it to display this particular page first when the application launches. So to set that, let's head over to the Solution Explorer. Inside the app.xaml, let's click on the drop down and then head over to the app.xaml.cs file. Okay, so we want the main page to be our account page. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's change this to navigation page, which is going to navigate us to the particular page we wanted to navigate us to, and in this case we want to take us to the account page. Okay, so let's head over to this and then do this navigation equals new account page. So this is all we need. Let's go ahead and comment this code out, this register mock data store. And then so what this simply does is once we launch the application on our mobile application, it's going to take us to the account page as the startup page. Okay, so after running the application, I realized that we actually forgot to pass in the key. No, this is for the address rather. This is the address.text, which should be equals to the account.address, and then for the key, this should be the key. Okay, so the key should display the key.text to display the account.mnemonic. So let's go ahead and make the changes and then run the application once again. So to find the account address, let's open our browser and navigate to this URL, this link, bank.testnet.algorand.network. This is going to take us to the Algorand dispenser, which we will use to dispense funds into our account address. So to do this, let's first check on the I am not a robot checkbox and then paste in our account address inside the field over here and then click on dispense. Okay, so we can see a code status of 200, which means success, and this also implies that our account address has been funded successfully. So let's go back into our application and then input our account address to check what our funds will be this time around. Okay, so at this stage we have successfully achieved most of what we wanted to achieve. We have created or generated account addresses and mnemonic keys. We have funded the account and we have checked the account balance. Now the next thing we're going to do is to learn how to restore accounts. In case we lose track of what our account address is, we can make use of the mnemonic keys to get our account addresses back. So this is for demo purposes. I'm going to quickly just paste what the account address was that we generated earlier on in the application. So I'm just going to quickly paste it and then comment it out. So this is the account address, and then I'm also going to paste the this is the mnemonic key. I'm also going to paste the account address. Alright, so I'm going to also do the same thing. I'm going to comment it out. So we have the mnemonic keys and then we have the account address. Note, this is for demo purpose, which is why I am publicly displaying the key, the account address key, and the account address also. If you're going to use this in a production mode, for example, never ever display or share your key with anyone. Okay, so to restore an account, we first need a storage account name. So in this case, we have public string fields where we can have our storage account name 1, storage account name 2, and 3. So when we go down below, I have added a code snippet of how it works. So this is an array of our accounts taking 3 items. We have our string mnemonics for account 1, 2, 3. That is the mnemonic keys attached to those account addresses. So we have a try and catch error here. In case we come across any error or problem, when running the application. So where our mnemonic key is, for mnemonic key 1, we are actually going to store it in our secure storage of our application. So when we hover over it and then move into the description, for Android for example, encryption keys are stored in key store and encrypted data is stored in the name shared preference container, which is the package id.xamarin.essentials. Okay, so and then if you hover the get async, we can see what we need: a string key being passed, which is where our storage account name would be. The same goes for mnemonic key 2 and mnemonic key 3. Alright, so inside of the catch exception, in case you come across any error, it should catch the error and then display what the message is all about. Should in case your device does not support the secure storage, an error could also occur, which is why we have these comments for possible that device does not support secure storage. So we also have an array of the accounts we are returning. Okay, so we have an array of 0, an index of 0 for the mnemonic key 1, an index of 1 for the mnemonic key 2, and 2 for mnemonic key 3, before we then return the accounts. So using this, we can actually get additional details of what the account is all about. This is a contribution from Kuzu Consult by Stephen Sunday and Seth Michael.